either removed from circulation here or just don't have it. I don't know. Pfizer was the only one. So that's the one I got. I got my first dose yesterday. Second dose I'm gonna get in the 20th of October. So that's a while away.
Your mark must be tested on something smaller than the breach. Open the gate. We are heading.
But I'm excited because then that means I can possibly begin traveling again soon as well. Especially if, yeah, October. 12 weeks from first shot to second. No. 12 weeks. French is a very attractive language, right? Right? It's so good. I love languages, yeah. That was like 4 weeks. Yeah, so the like recommended period is like 3 to 4 weeks, right? If it's any more than 4 weeks, it's because of an availability concern. And we just don't get that many. Like, this week, now that I got my vaccine, right, we only had 800 doses available. And so, to cover more of the population, they spread it out over a longer period. That's why we have the 12-week waiting period between doses. Because it began with just like the default time, and then they figured out that because of availability, it was better to just like get as many people as they could on the first dose, kinda. Because by extending the waiting period from 4 to 12 weeks, you get more people to get the first shot, right? So, I think I was reading up on statistics yesterday. As of like 80% of Norway's population has been vaccinated with the first dose. And I think it was like 40 or 30 something percent have, yeah, I think 40 has been vaccinated with the second one. Well, you nap. Okay, King, thank you. Making the best of a not so good situation, right? Yeah, no, because I think that makes sense. Kind of sucks having to wait that long, but 80% with the first dose. God, I wish that were us. Yeah, no, it's going forward. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Most of my family has been vaccinated. My aunt and uncle haven't because they live in a different municipality and they're a bit slower when it comes to delivering out the vaccines. But I think that's just because they have a bigger population compared to where I live.
That's what you would have done.
It's more believable and less prone to result in premature execution.
If you can hear cars and stuff, I'm sorry. But I kind of have to have it open because if not, I'm gonna die from the heat. Because I do not have air conditioning. God, I wish I had air conditioning, dude. Ugh. Life would be so nice if it did. Honestly.
Lemuura is a handsome-ass
Okay,
lad.
that's a better goal than earlier, so that's fine. I don't have to go back and look at the other gold then that I had earlier today that wasn't saved. Cool. Yeah, 80% of Norway's population have been vaccinated with the first dose. As far as I can tell. I can double check the statistics later. But most of you don't have it. Yeah. I mean, especially Northern Europe, right? Like, I'd say most houses in Norway do have some kind of aircon, but usually only in the living room. And it's like a single wall-mounted unit, usually. It's not like central air conditioning or anything fancy like that. God, I wish. If I'd be living in luxury if I had that, dude. Ignition when I invent global warming. Jesus. Let's hope that was good enough. Yeah, perfect. Like, my dad used to work with air conditioning before. This was many years ago, though, so... Like, the aircon that we have here at my mother's place, right, is something that he installed. Because it was just the best option. Because, like, he did it pretty cheap as well. Like, he didn't take paid for the installation. He only took paid for the... for the actual air conditioning unit itself, right? Right? Dragon Age Inquisition is really pretty. Your air conditioning is trash. Probably still better than what I have, considering I don't have anything in my room. And also, like, you know, all of our houses are made to keep heat inside, which makes it especially terrible during, like, a really hot summer. Because, like, a Norwegian summer is classified as being 20 Celsius. So when it reaches, like, 30 Celsius here, I'm dead. I'm gone. I don't exist anymore. Thankfully, the weather has been pretty okay the past few weeks. It was like a bit of rain earlier today. It wasn't like a big amount though, just like a tiny bit. Otherwise it's just been very humid. Oh, rainy. Oh no. Like, when I was visiting Abu Dhabi back in 2017, there was like a day when it was like 40 something Celsius, probably like 42, I think. and 100% humidity, I thought I died. Cause like, I walked out of the bus from the airport to the hotel. You walk out of the bus, you're hit with a wall of humidity and heat. And me wearing glasses, I couldn't see shit forever because they were just permanently fogged up. I decided to paint the blue shot. What the fuck? That sucks. Oh no, Peanut. 50 degrees Celsius sounds like actual hell. Yeah. That is death. Exactly, Blackheart. Exactly. Like, I don't know how people in, like, Vegas and stuff does it with that kind of heat. Fuck you, Crestwood. Why would you do this to me? An informant's between my card, mom's card. Oh no. Oh no. Rainy. That does not sound like fun. Sounds like actual torture. You just die. Yeah, makes sense. Decompressed. Yeah. I don't know. Like, whenever I go to the Canary Isles and it's like 30 something Celsius, right? Even though 30 Celsius is really hot here, 30 Celsius down in like the Canary Isles is just fine. Like after a week and stuff, it's good enough for me to be able to wear pants and stuff. Because then I have time to acclimate. Live is 44 Celsius. Oh my god. Oh, Peanut. I do not envy you. I think the hottest it's reached here, just like outside, is like 31 Celsius or something. I was dying. Because inside my room, right? Because it's 31 Celsius outside, I don't have air conditioning. My room is on the sun side of the house, right? So inside my room it was probably like way more. I don't know the exact temperature. I just know it was way higher. And like the fan I have doesn't really help. It like alleviates some of it and that's about it. So instantly jealous of whoever has air cons. $37. Oh my god. It's like that 4 days. Oh no. How you got into cold showers? I bet. I bet if it's that hot outside, cold showers would be really nice. There we go. A nice period, especially after a sauna or something. Ooh. Yeah, that does kind of sound nice. That does kind of sound nice. Okay, Origin, be nice to me, please. Pretty please, pretty please. Let me log in, let everything go smoothly. Okay, so we're in pretty good pace right now. So amulet dupes just has to go well. Origin. Fucking Origin. The worst launcher. Oh my god. Cause like the way, I don't know if it's the fact that like you change time or if it's the fact that I change patches mid run. If that's why I can't log in sometimes. But after I began like shutting off the web helper service and stuff, it's been way more consistent logging me in. So I think it's something to do with that. Cause see now it's logging me in just fine. So the keybinds are working, good. Okay, time for amulet dupes. It is, but it's like any other. It's like Titanfall, where it launches Origin and then runs it through there. Because that's when it launched. That's one of the things I bought. I bought it again on Steam, so I could check, and no, it wasn't separate, which I was sad about. Or like if I could have. The reason I got it was to check if I could just have two different ones, so I would have Steam for like the newest patch, for example, and Origin for the old one. But it didn't matter, because like even it only chose either the Steam one or the Origin one that I had. Like I couldn't choose one or the other. And I don't know why. Oh. This is really slow. I might be losing some time here, unless I can be fast with crafting. Into superior skirmishes hats. Superior prowler armor. Prowler armor arms. Hunter coat legs. Aiming. Gilded grip. Arms. Yeah. Sucks to lose this much time here, but it's fine. I don't know, the dupes were kind of slow. I felt like the menu was opening slowly. I don't know. But honestly, probably just me not getting the stuff. Need food. Bye. Bye, Peanut. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hecking cutie. Bleeding time everywhere, but Temple of Mythal, I can save in tons of time there. Hopefully. If everything goes well. But considering this is my first run actually making it here today, that's questionable at best. Oh my god. Why? I don't struggle with that much, usually. Like, hello? You jump, you click. That's what's... And then teleport. That's what's supposed to happen, but no.
I hear fighting ahead.
That sucks. Really well presented, thank you. I'm really proud of how it turned out. And Bri is such a good commentator as well. I was really happy that they were willing to join me on the couch, honestly.
And his life force passes on to...
Perform a ritual to appease elven gods? Long dead or no, I don't like it.
if need be, unless you wish to turn back. I see the Red Templars have already encountered the temple's guardians.
Go. Decent fight.
Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisition?
Quick save and quick load here. Cast that. Go with Barrick. Out of bounds. Nice. Just goes in blind and makes it a... No, it just says ban me and everything will be cool. Why are you banned? In the wrong way. Gotcha. I see. Will you be unbanned, you think?
The well of sorrows.
No. Oh, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. That's how it be sometimes, I guess. I mean, maybe in a while. You could send an unban request, you know? Nice. Epic pace, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, any PB pace is world record pace since I'm the world record holder, right? So it's a pretty good pace. Just have to go through the dragon and then Corypheus. So, crossing all fingers and toes, hoping everything works out.
You sure? There aren't any runes in these parts.
Hi. Hello. How are you doing? That's a bit slow, but okay fight. Gonna lose a tiny bit of time here though.
All you need now is Corypheus and bam! Dragon.
Yeah, like it's not terrible. King Andre. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Good pace right now, so hoping I'm able to like keep everything together and actually pull through. I hope. Fighting a dragon in Dragon Age, right? I remember there was a dumb joke. At my GDQ run, I think it was just like, oh, yeah, this isn't Dragon Age Inquisition, this is just Age Inquisition. Okay, now we're about to enter the final boss fight. Let's see how it goes. It was funny because at GDQ I was struggling on the end phase here. And it was just dumb because usually I get it all the time. I don't know what the fuck happened there, why he jumped so high, but
The breach is getting bigger.
that sucks. He didn't aggro. Hey, that's a PB. Did a thing that will never not never be not funny. You don't see it when I'm doing an actual run though, because yeah, you have to do it down the stairs, because then he dies like within the arena, so the loading screen after isn't as long. But if he dies like way outside the arena, the black screen after lasts longer, and that counts like it's a part of the time, because time ends once the cutscene starts, right? So 25-14, finally a PB that I'm decently happy with, or not just decently, I'm actually pretty happy with this one. So what game are you starting, King Andre? Thank you. Oh no, X2, thank you. 25-14. Sub 24 is definitely within reach, like for sure. Which is wild, because like when I picked up the game and began running it, I've cut down so many minutes. So many. Your PC died and you missed a world record. Rainy. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I include that in the VOD that I'm gonna be uploading. that your PC died and you missed a world record. Wow. Yeah. Amazing timing. Amazing timing.